In the beautiful district of Ramnad, there lived a remarkable woman named AMINA MANIKA. AMINA MANIKA was born on March 24, 1972. Her father, Ali MANIKFAN, was a scientist who worked diligently at CMFRE, which stands for Central Marine Fisheries Research Institute. Her grandfather held the esteemed position of the last headman of Minicoy Island, ruling over it like a true king. Growing up in the enchanting village of Tamil Nadu, Vidhalai, she had 2 older sisters and an elder brother, and her father, Ali MANIKFAN, adored her dearly. Meanwhile, her brother, Musa MANIKFAN, was an average student studying in the 8th standard at Vidhalai Government School. One day, the teachers from the school paid a visit to Amina's home. They were insistent on Amina attending school and requested her to join the 3rd standard. However, her first day at school turned out to be quite an unusual experience. The teachers did not conduct any lessons, but rather asked all the students to free their hair and clean their scalps from lice. Amina was not like other students. The lice got up on her head. This made her reluctant to go to school again. But her sisters rudely persuaded her to continue her education. Thus, Amina's journey of learning and growth began. AMINA MANIKA did not attend school, so she was burdened with an excessive amount of work. Initially, she was prohibited from handling sharp objects, but then she was tasked with chopping vegetables and grating coconut. Despite her reluctance, she completed all her chores. Her father, MANIKFAN, couldn't see Amina troubled by her sisters, so he ordered the children to speak English at home despite speaking Mahal before. Those who spoke Tamil or Mahal were fined 5 rupees in 1980, but Dad allowed to speak Mahal with Mother alone. Amina never went to school, instead studying at home and being taught to read, write, and do various tasks by her father. Only she was responsible for milking the cows and caring for the family's many pets and domestic animals. Her father, MANIKFAN, lovingly taught her how to sew, and she used her skills to stitch beautiful dresses. Amina was a devout believer and always prayed to God, which brought her blessings in abundance. At the young age of 14, Amina astonished everyone by learning to write Malayalam in just one day. Her hunger for knowledge led her to master 4 languages: Malayalam, Tamil, English, and Mahal. When she turned 18, Amina married a Tamilian man named Habib Muhammad. Although she desired to learn more languages, living with a different cultural background posed many challenges for her. In due time, Amina gave birth to a baby girl on September 29, 1992. As any concerned mother would, she followed the advice of doctors and consumed medicines during her pregnancy. However, tragedy struck when her baby passed away after 3.5 months due to the harmful effects of these medicines. Devastated, MANIKFAN pleaded with Amina to avoid medication if she were to conceive again. Despite her grief, Amina found herself pregnant once more. This time, she decided against taking any medicines or vaccinations for her baby, emphasizing a natural approach. Miraculously, the baby girl grew healthy and strong, bringing immense joy to Amina's heart. Amina and Habib named their precious daughter Salma Maimuna. To the surprise of many, Salma Maimuna began uttering her first words at the tender age of 5 months, primarily in English. This puzzled Amina's in-laws and Habib's relatives, who questioned how the baby could understand and speak in English. They even wondered if the baby had secretly attended college. They urged Amina to speak only in Tamil to her child and scolded her relentlessly. Amina faced immense difficulties, and people often labeled her as a mad lady. To make matters worse, Amina was pressured to vaccinate her baby, but she firmly held on to her decision to nurture her child naturally. It was an arduous journey living with her in-laws and even her relatives advised her to take medicines for herself and her baby. However, Amina remained resolute and strong-willed, standing by her beliefs. In the end, Amina found solace in her daughter's good health and happiness. One of Amina's brother-in-law became very angry when he heard her speaking English to her child. He questioned her, asking if her father, San Francis, was the reason she spoke in English. Despite the rumors and criticism, Amina did not care. She strongly believed that teaching her child English was important, especially since many children face difficulties in speaking the language. 3 years later, Amina gave birth to another baby girl whom she named Mubina Taslima. Similar to her previous childbirth, Amina did not rely on medications or vaccinations. Unfortunately, the baby developed a navel infection. Amina, who preferred homeopathic remedies, took her to a homeopathy doctor instead of an allopathic one. By the grace of God, the baby recovered. Amina faced great torture from those around her, including her mother-in-law, who insisted on piercing Amina's ears and giving her earrings. However, Amina was a simple woman who had no interest in wearing ornaments. So she resisted her mother-in-law's demands. Amina confidently stated that one day, she would have to answer for her actions. To her creator, God, with a lot of work on her plate, Amina often placed her 7-month-old baby in a bucket of water, since she had little time to look after her. Due to this lack of attention, Mubina was not talking much and could only say a few words. However, when Mubina turned 20 months old, grandfather of Mubina, MANIKFAN, came to Amina's house. He invited Amina to accompany him to a seminar in Kavarati. Amina and her daughters joined him, and at the seminar, they became friendly with foreigners from America, Brazil, California, New Zealand, the Maldives, and Germany. It was during this time that Mubina started talking and became quite talkative. Amina always desired for her children to learn and speak English fluently, prompting her to enroll them in various schools. However, she was dissatisfied with the education system and its approach.